at 5:30 on November 17th, okay? We will do that then.
Thank you, all.
All right.
Yeah, there's,
And as Mr. Simeone suggested, I think we really won't need a presentation, maybe just questions and answers, and Ms. Cooper could supply us with some more information on the difference between a council board and a council committee, standing committee, although it's pretty simple, and it's all spelled out in the charter and such. Okay? All right.
thank you.
With that being said, I see it's 7 o'clock. So, let me see. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Ashtabula City Council to order. Today is Monday, October 20th, 2025. If at this time you will please stand for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us, so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Milberg, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Holman,
Present.
Mrs. Mills,
Here.
Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Here.
Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero,
Here.
Mr. Simeone,
Here.
Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Mr. Khan.
Here.
Thank you. May I have a motion to excuse Mrs. Foglio from tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Mr. Guerrero moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? She will be excused by a 6-0 vote. We have met our sunshine law, and we are doing we have a quorum, so we are good to go. We are going to begin tonight's meeting with a presentation to our fire department, some members of our fire department. So at this time, I see they're here. If they will come and join us. Gentlemen, if you come and join us up front. Thank you. Thank you all for coming this evening. I'm sure you're all aware of what transpired this summer out on Lake Erie when our fire department was called to go above and beyond really what is normal fireman duty, I guess. And it was quite an event and quite an accomplishment, and really just an amazing thing that happened that day. And so we know we could probably give these gentlemen a resolution every week for something they're doing. And same with our police department, they're always doing great things. But we just felt this was so unique and so out of line, extraordinary, I don't know what word to use. But as you hear about this event, maybe the chief or one of the gentlemen will share it with us. When I heard about it, I was just amazed. And one of the things that amazed me was the emotion that I felt as the story was being told. And I thought to myself, these gentlemen, they do a lot of physical work. It's a lot of work, hard work, but the emotion involved in it too must really take a lot and require a lot. And so We just wanted to have them here to let them know how much we really are proud of them and appreciate them and are amazed with them. You want to say anything, Jim? Okay, when we're done. So we just have a resolution to honor and commend the Ashtabula City Fire Department for their rescue on Lake Erie. And that's, I mean, when you see Lake Erie, how big it is, to go out there and find people, that's just amazing. Whereas it has come to the attention of the Ashtabula City Council and public officials of the city of Ashtabula, in recognizing the extraordinary effort, training, skills, and teamwork that was required for the safe rescue of a father and his daughter. Whereas on September 26, Friday, 2025, the Ashtabula City Fire Department responded to a man overboard call on Lake Erie and promptly deployed the necessary equipment, exceeding the ordinary call of duty to save the life of a father and his daughter from drowning in the lake. Whereas in the absence of the Coast Guard station in Ashtabula, the Ashtabula City Fire Department's swift and decisive actions directly resulted in the rescue of the individual and prevented a greater tragedy, bringing great honor to the entire fire department and the community it serves. Whereas the response and professionalism displayed by the Ashtabula City, the fire department, serves as an inspiration to all of our public servants and a testament to the character of our city's brave first responders. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Ashtabula and our public officials of the city of Ashtabula do hereby commend the Ashtabula City Fire Department for their heroic actions above and beyond the call of duty to provide life-saving measures on the water of Lake Erie. Thank you. Oh, Chief, and thank you. Thank you for coming. So appreciate it.
Well, thank you for this. It always obviously means a lot when our leaders are, you know, recognizing and just happy with what we do. I guess I can recap it a little bit, what happened that day. It was truly a miracle. First, let's just go back to the Coast Guard, obviously has left, everybody's known that. The police department had a boat, and in conjunction with them, I talked with the police chief, the manager, said we need to have something we can do to fill this gap, because not standing on shore and sitting there and telling them 2 hours, the Coast Guard will be here and we're okay with that. So with their blessing in that, we had to literally start from scratch. We had nobody trained to be boat operators and that. And all of our guys, they stood up. We have a large group of guys that went through the training, and, you know, they took it on with, you know, I guess enthusiasm, and just know that that's just another tool that we'll have if we never know what the call is going to be. Well, in this case, we got called for a 3-year-old that went overboard, and then the father had jumped in after her. He was not wearing a life jacket. Luckily, the 3-year-old was. The mom and the 2-year-old were still on the boat, and she was not familiar with the boat, so she was having a little difficulty shutting both the motors down. By the time she had everything shut down, it had moved away from, so that she couldn't see them anymore. They were completely out of sight. So she called 911, and of course, you know, she's frantic. And so getting that information as to where exactly are you? I mean, Lake Erie is a big lake. It took a little while to locate her, but we did locate her in 60 foot of water, about approximately 7 miles offshore. And so we gathered, she kind of helped us point in the direction she thought that they were coming from, which was northeast. We cut her fishing lines, and then said, you know, you're not really familiar with this, but can you at least, we need to get her off the lake, so can you drive the boat in? My guys will help dock you. We had guys on land, all these guys had a role in it. They were flying drones. They were dealing with the family that had already arrived of the people that were in the water. Both sets of parents had showed up, so there was a lot going on in this call. So once we had a general idea which we were going, we got her headed back in. We just started a search pattern that was pretty extensive. We were moving pretty quick because we knew we had a lot of ground to cover. And we had no help. We knew help was coming, but it wasn't going to be in time. So it was probably on, our fourth or fifth pass. Is that when we found her or when he saw us?
He saw us on the 4th,
Yeah.
and then the 5th, that's when we actually saw him.
Yeah, so we had made a couple passes, but there was just enough waves that we couldn't really see. You're seeing seagulls and this and that, and you know, as time's going, obviously, you know, you're going, this is not looking good. But we ended up finding them on that fifth pass, but luckily we gave him enough adrenaline when he saw us that he figured we were going to save him, had hoped so, that he managed to stay afloat, because just prior to that, he had pretty much ran out of steam. He'd been in the water for over an hour, no life jacket on, and he had already talked to his daughter and said, you know, if I go under, you just need to make sure you wave, try to get boats' attention. But so anyway, we luckily saw an arm come up. Braden was the first one to spot that arm, and we all looked, and there's an arm coming out of the water. We're like, holy cow, there they are. But when we started this whole program, we planned for kind of close to shore break wall and stuff. We never thought we'd be doing open water rescue 7 miles offshore. We did locate them about 1.4 miles away from where we found the boat. So they were 1.4 miles northeast of where she was when we found her. So it literally is like virtually finding a needle in a haystack. So I can't commend my guys. I mean, just for making the whole program work, and it actually did what we did. Because when I started, I said, if we save one life, it's worth it. Well, I can tell you for a fact we saved two, because Coast Guard was nowhere near getting there, and he was out of energy. He was going down. So, but at any rate, kudos to the guys.
So, and I just want to say personally a thank you to all of you, but especially to Chief Gruber. You know, when we have been involved in this Coast Guard, I'll call it what it is, a fiasco, since they left here. You know, when I started, we had 24/7, 365 coverage. Then it became, we will leave when the river freezes over and we'll come back when it thaws. Then it was, we'll be here from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And then without even telling us, they just weren't showing up anymore. We happened to find that out by accident. We've had several meetings with the Coast Guard over the years, and even after this instance here, they've set up another meeting with us. They have new leadership in the Buffalo district, so we're hoping that there's going to be some good news coming our way with Station Ashtabula, especially with all that we've had to do, that we have participated in. Having said all that, Chief Gruber originally came to me and said, you know, these guys have always been like this. We have to step in. And here is yet again another unfunded mandate that we are now doing open water rescue in the place of the United States Coast Guard. I think it speaks volumes for Chief's leadership and the guys going along with this to take this on. And thank God, especially in this situation and so many others that we've had over the years that they have. So very much appreciate your leadership, Chief. We're going to miss you next year. Got some big shoes to fill, but you've really brought this department along to a point where not only are we protecting the land, but we're out at sea. So thank you. Thank you all.
I want to add one more thing. So I just want to add one more thing. This is obviously special to us, but truly the most special thing is we had the little girl, her name's Adeline, and she came up to the station this last weekend and celebrated her 4th birthday with us. So that was cool.
Did the Coast Guard show up? Did they show up?
No.
They never did?
Turn around and back.
With the helicopter, yeah, turned around and met her. And the boat, the closest boat was coming, well, Erie, and then they did finally launch a boat from Fairport, but there just wasn't no time. There wasn't time. And if we don't know how long that girl was hypothermic when we pulled her out. But needless to say, that to us was the biggest award ever, was having the family come up and celebrate her birthday with us, because they said without us, they just wouldn't be doing it. So, thank you.
Chief, thank you thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming so much. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming. Chief, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
can I say, there was also a horrific fire over the weekend on the West 53rd, and I drove by that today, and it's amazing how they got that out. And the two houses next door that are so close, that those two didn't burn down. So it's just the things that you do, and I think I have 2 grandkids, 2.5, and then one will be 5 in a few weeks, and I just can't even imagine. When I heard that story, I just couldn't stop crying. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't even know how you do that every single day. You guys are just awesome. Wish we could pay you more money.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-184 to honor and commend our city fire department for their rescue on Lake Erie.
You need a second?
Yes.
I'll second it. Or Mrs. Holman can.
We all seconded.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Well, we need, so I move, Mr. Giacomo seconds. All in any discussion? Anyone else would like to comment?
Listening to that story just brought tears to my eyes.
It's just
That was just unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was an honor for us too, trust me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The resolution has passed by a 6-0 vote. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief. You guys are welcome to stay, but I'm sure you got.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, we have no need for an executive session. We have minutes to approve.
October 6, 2025 regular council meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. by Council President Roskovich. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg. Absent, Mr. Simeone.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Mrs. Mills moves.
Second.
Ms. Holman seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the minutes by the 6-0 vote. Going on to our committee reports, City Council, just to announce that our next meeting is November 3rd. And then after that, our meeting will be November 17th. And we will begin with a work session at 5:30. Okay,
I do have a question.
yes.
And my question is, that's one day before the election.
Well, November 17th,
Well, I'm thinking the 3rd is
Oh.
one day before election.
right.
So depending on the outcomes, would our agenda at all change from now, and even into December?
Yes.
Yeah. So depending on the outcome, is there a way to ensure that some of these unfinished items get handled or addressed? Because I think we may have, only 2 meetings in December, if there are no changes?
We have a,
I'm saying that out loud.
November 3rd is the day before the election. November 17th is 2 weeks after that.
Right.
After that, then the council will meet on Monday, December 1st. for our swearing in counselors in our organizational meeting. That'll be Monday, December 1st. And then, will we have our regular council meeting after that? Because usually the first Monday, right?
Is that the first Monday?
Yeah, that's the first Monday.
December 1st is the first Monday.
And we have to have our swearing in. How does that work? I don't think that's ever happened since I've been around.
You could do the swearing in before December 1st.
We can do the swearing in before December 1st? Could we do it on November 28th? No, that's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
I'll be shopping.
Well, all right, so we'll do our swearing in on November 28th, and that's usually only like a half hour ordeal, right? We'll have three new members to swear in. Does Judge DiGiacomo get sworn in here or at her own court?
That's up to her.
Okay, so possibly 4 swearing in. So we'll do that, and then, so that'll be on the 28th, and then our first meeting will be December 1st, and then December 15th. Okay. And so, Ms. Holman, your question was, will something change on November 17th?
No, my general question is that we have a lot of outstanding issues, and maybe, I'm not sure if you want me to wait until unfinished business, but just wondering how the next few months would impact the continuation of some of these issues.
With regard to your committee or other items in general?
Any items that are outstanding and not resolved?
Maybe bring those up in unfinished business. 'Cause you'll have to share them with me, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Okay? Any other counselors have anything they'd like to add at this time? Going on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one ordinance to request tonight, which is also on your agenda. I'm requesting an ordinance to enter into a contract with Rocky Road Paving of Geneva, Ohio for various street cut restorations. These are all due to sewer repairs, so this will come out of Fund 503 and shall not exceed $32,700, trying to get these in before the winter time here. So that's the only request I have tonight for an ordinance. Just some other information that I wanted to share during,
We move on.
oh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
yes.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Guerrero moves, Mr. Simeone seconds. Any discussion
Yes, I have some questions.
about this ordinance?
Correct.
Okay.
Can you share with us the locations?
Yeah, those are attached to the ordinance. There is one on Walnut Boulevard, there's one on West 8th Street, and one on Perry Avenue.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Mr. President,
Yes.
so I was wondering, this is round 8 of these. So for when we do our annual budget, are we sort of on par every year, or is above or below?
These are usually in the areas where these are combined with those sewer repairs or storm repairs. So those are in those line items when we do that. Yeah, and we spend a lot of money on those repairs.
So has this year been sort of
It's been typical. Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Okay, just some general updates. We did have a call this morning between myself and staff with the staff at Geneva and Geneva City Manager, as well as Eastgate, trying to get our downtown grant up and rolling. There's still some questions that Eastgate is trying to answer for us, but we do hope, I know I keep saying it, we hope to have some of these things answered. We really need the state and Eastgate to provide those answers at this point. So we still have to complete this grant by October of 2026. So we know we have a lot of building owners asking questions, and we're trying to provide as much information as we can, but we are lacking in that information as well. So we're doing our best to get that rolling. We are in the same position right now as Geneva, obviously, with everything going on. So we want to get that off the ground and going. One thing that I'm going to request of council in the near future, and when we have more time to talk about it, we currently have a revitalization district set up in the harbor area. This was done many years back. I want to say it was possibly 2011 or 10. We have identified a couple projects along Lake Avenue that are upcoming that would benefit from being within the revitalization district. So we're looking at some language on how to expand the district to have additional areas included. Right now, we're thinking about expanding that district up to West 9th Street along Lake Avenue. Right now, it goes to West 6th Street and just encompasses the east side of Lake Avenue and that surrounding area. This would include the parcels on both sides of Lake Avenue from West 3rd Street south to West 9th Street, and then heading back north from West 9th Street to the same location it's at West 6th Street. So adding some areas along Lake Avenue where there's some potential for growth that we've been talking to some developers about.
Would that be expanding the historical district, or that's
No,
something?
that's
the
totally
enterprise
different.
district
Yep.
is something different?
The revitalization district is separate from the historic
Okay.
district, although they're overlapping.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't
They're not the
for the
same.
rules. Yep. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. A reminder, trick or treat is November 1st from 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturday. We are in negotiations right now with all of our unions. So we've had one group meeting and one meeting with one bargaining unit. We have several more set up for this week, trying to get that all buttoned up and done. The master plan public meetings, as I mentioned, there will be a minimum of 3 of those. We've identified November 13th as our first meeting. We're still trying to nail down the location, but it will be on November 13th, probably starting at 5:30. But we'll get more information out to you as soon as we find the location that we're going to host the first one at. And Mr. President, that's all I have for my report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Timonier. Does anybody have anything for Mr. Timonier?
I do. Mr. Timonier, you mentioned the Eastgate project, and we only have roughly a year. Considering that you have been in talks with other municipalities around us, is there any chance that the deadline can be extended, given all of the challenges and things that have emerged?
I really wish. Unfortunately, these are ARPA funds that came from the federal government down to the state. This is how the state chose to distribute them. So we have to play by the federal government guidelines and deadlines, which has been one of the reasons that this program has changed and evolved so much, even up to the last minute. But no, and considering some of the things that are going on in the current administration, as I've always said, I'm concerned that the money will be there for the entire length of time.
And have you all been able to brainstorm any other recourse?
No, they have the money, and so we're at their mercy. They're the ones that distribute the money. And when I say they, that the state of Ohio through the Appalachian Regional Commission.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes,
can I ask Mr. Manager, we're talking about the downtown, a few folks have asked me, the old municipal building, and as far as that sign, or, moving that, or trying to preserve that, or where are we with the building? And
As we've mentioned several times, we put it out for bid, basically trying to give it away with a project that would work. We had 2 responses, one of which asked us to renovate the entire building and then lease it to them, and the other one was not a I don't want to say not a serious bid, but it was pretty much on 2 pieces of paper and said, we'll like to revitalize the building with not really a plan behind it. So We've tried, we continue to reach out to anybody that'll listen. But right now, that stone is incorporated into the steps. So we're not sure if that were to be pulled off, what happens to the rest of it. So right now, it's, if for some reason the building should go away, there are a lot of artifacts on that building, and within the building, we would intend to save, and that's one of them.
Okay. And the other thing I was wondering, any updates on the fire truck?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we went from March to now August for a delivery date of next year. So we'll have 4 payments on the truck before we receive it.
Can I just follow up to your question around the municipality
Sure.
building? To what extent has there been some research to determine if there's some additional funding that could be gotten to offset some of the cost to renovate that building?
Quite a bit. Unfortunately, a lot of that funding is not available to municipalities. It's available to developers. So your historic tax credits, your LIHTC funds, if it were to become some type of housing, which again, the state changed the rules on, can't remember if it's the federal government or the state changed the rules on that, where historic tax credits cannot be used with a LIHTC project to offset the costs. So that hurt a lot of downtowns, and there was a lot of advocacy to not do that. They went ahead and did it anyways. But yeah, the funding that's really available is for developers, not for municipalities.
And then to what extent are developers aware that
Anybody
funding
that
is
does,
available?
anybody that does any type of historic works knows which ones to go after and which ones, and we also can provide some information on those. One of the things that I mentioned before at a council meeting was, we're actively trying to add other census tracts to the next round of opportunity zone, one of which being Main Avenue. That may help with the process. Unfortunately, I just believe when developers look at that project and the amount of work that has to be done, I have been told, on their opinion, it's not feasible. So, but I think if somebody's got the money and really has the passion to do it, it could be a good project.
Or can find the money?
Or can find the money. Yeah.
I was wondering, I see that, I read that they use land bank money to tear down, like the old Ashtabula office supply place. I think the land bank money would be good in the neighborhoods, which is good, but is there any way that land bank money can be used to tear down the old city hall?
There could. And if you recall, we did have funding in the past, although, at some urging from the community council members at the time, to keep trying, and we did. We pulled those funds back and used them elsewhere from demolishing the building. And when I put out that last request for proposals on the building, I made it clear that if we don't get anything, that's the direction we're going to go. So we are actively looking for demo funds, but we'll see.
Yeah.
If something comes along, I'm happy to entertain it in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a wonderful building, but it's either gonna fall or something's gonna happen to it, so. All right, is there anything else for the manager?
I have some, I don't know if this is the right time to ask these questions, but I'm going to ask. And if it's not the right time, just say so. So here's my question. When Dominion or Aqua makes cuts in the road, who checks their repair work?
We do.
Okay. So it's not a complaint-driven thing, because I have some complaints, but I also don't think their work is done yet. So I'll talk to you later about that.
Yeah, if you give me the locations, we can find out. And typically, when those companies make cuts, they try to bunch them together. They have especially in the instance of Aqua, they have a contract with Koski Construction. Once they get a bunch of them together, they release Koski to go out and do them. In situations, especially where they've had leaks, they want that ground to settle. And sometimes they'll at least a month that they'll allow it to settle. We've had to call them and say, hey, it's settled too much, you need to go repatch it. But then when Koski comes in to do the permanent repair, they usually make a nice cut around it, tear it all out, compact, and then do the levels to bring it up, and then you'll see a seal around those cuts. So a lot of what you see is not when we get the complaints, is
So
not the
it
permanent
wouldn't
repair.
necessarily be repaired this year, it could be next year?
Depends on how long the plants stay open and their schedule.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question, that going door to door, I've had a lot of people ask me questions about snow. It's people that they live on streets that aren't the main streets or the second, they're like the last to get plowed streets. And what their concern is that they're gonna be stuck a week. And I know last year was an exceptional year, but what I'm hearing from people is that this happens where they can't get out because of their road not being plowed. So here are my questions. How many plow trucks do we have?
I think this year we'll have 10 vehicles ready to go.
What did we have last year?
I think it was the same last year.
Or was it? And are all those vehicles up and running?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, do we have enough humans to be driving the vehicles?
No, not on per shift. Typically, the
'Cause I
shifts will
think we did
consist of
this-
anywhere between 5 to 7.
Yeah, my
people
last
at a
Public
time.
Works meeting, last meeting, I went over the workers to vehicle ratio.
Do you need a CDL for that?
Yes. Mhm. And you need experience plowing.
Well, what people are begging me, and I said, well, I'm not in control of this, but I will bring it up in a meeting, that they're not left stranded. And, yeah, that's basically it. Those are my questions.
Anything else, Mr. Timoney?
That's
I
all.
have a question for the city manager.
I don't know if that's gonna be good, huh?
Well, it's a,
No.
the first one is, I just wanted to double check. I know during the summer that the sanitation department starts at 6 o'clock. Are they back to the 7 o'clock starts?
Yes, they are.
Okay, that makes life easier when you're putting your trash out. The second question is, when is Ohio Avenue gonna be done, and is it gonna be done before the snow hits? Not Ohio, Carpenter, sorry.
Yes. So today they were doing some trench repair on the most eastern section of that. As soon as Bentley is done, who's the original contractor, Koski is supposed to move in to repave it. Both lanes.
And it's gonna be done before the,
We hope so, but they're really close to being done with the project. So we should be able to move Koski in right after that.
because if ice goes down on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my questions, thank you.
I think that project took a little bit longer than they anticipated. Obviously running into some obstacles with the old infrastructure, but they spent a lot of money on that project. Yeah. And they are paving half of the road, and we're doing the other half, so.
Okay. All right, we will go on to the city solicitor. Do you have a report this evening?
Oh, I have a long report. So the first thing is, I was asked to make you aware that we have 12 vacant properties that the city has to board up. In order to board those buildings up, as the lieutenant can tell you, we need an officer to go with Steve so that he can make sure the buildings are emptied. And then we need the supplies to board them up properly so that people can't get back in them. It's a big process, but we just wanted to make you aware it's gonna take manpower and supplies. So those are a priority right now.
Those went through your court, went through the court, and they're
They're-
being boarded up because
They're buildings that were vacated by the housing inspector, and now they just need to be secured.
Okay.
The buildings that are going through my court, through municipal court, are the buildings that have a hope of being repaired and made livable. And the purpose of taking them through the court is to get them back in livable condition. So these are beyond what can be done.
Okay, thank you.
Secondly, we had a question a couple of weeks ago about a property and a property owner who lived in Alabama. Catherine asked me to make sure you all knew that that property had been sold to a redeveloper who has redeveloped a couple of other properties, and that redeveloper has already cleaned out the backyard and is starting work on the rest of that location. I can't remember the name, I'm sorry, but that has been sold, and it has been sold to somebody who's doing a responsible job in redeveloping that property. He's apparently worked with the land bank before, but he didn't buy this through the land bank, but he's worked with the land bank before and has a good reputation in terms of repairs.
Is that the property I brought forth?
Yes, and the,
Something.
the neighbor was here.
Yes, yeah,
And
thank you, thank you.
Catherine has also asked that the gentleman go introduce himself to the neighbor so that they know, he knows what the problems are,
Yeah,
and she knows that somebody responsible is taking care of them.
that's
If he
great,
happens to see her out and about. So
thank you.
that's an update on that. Lastly, we have a situation right now where there are approximately 60 residences that are owned by an individual who's deceased and an individual who may be incapacitated. People are living in these houses, they're not paying rent, they're not taking care of them in some instances. Something's got to be done. We have some options, but all of those options are costly. So, option number one is that we just file an injunction against the survivor and go through court to try and get that person to do something to take care of the properties. Given their current state, don't know that that's gonna work, so the city is gonna end up fixing those properties and putting the cost against the taxes. The other option is, I don't think there's family interested in taking over, so do we just let it go? The person who was taking care of the properties for them, the manager, is an attorney who has since retired and just kind of left it. I know that at least one of these houses, somebody set up utilities in the dead owner's name. That came to our attention and the city got on that. Another one, somebody was torching something and set part of it on fire. Welding, and the welding caught the siding on fire, that was put out, but still this is the other person's property. I don't expect y'all to make a decision tonight, but somebody's got to make a decision, perhaps planning and community development. Would ask Catherine to come speak, or I don't know if you want the planning commission to make a decision. I don't know, but somebody's got to give us some direction because this can't keep going.
Did you say 60?
Yes.
60?
Yes, yes,
By one guy?
yes,
By one?
yes.
Wow.
I'm, because we're in a public session, I'm purposely withholding names.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So,
That's
but
all.
yes.
Okay. All right, yeah, maybe ask Catherine the direction we should go if it has to go.
Catherine sent me to ask you.
Oh, okay. So,
Can I weigh in on
we
this?
go to planning and community development?
We'd be happy to do that.
That's
Okay.
fine, that's
Maybe
fine.
she can come and talk to that committee.
And that committee can make a recommendation to us or give us direction. We need to know
Yeah.
how this got to be handled by somebody. And
They didn't meet this month, but they're meeting, I'm assuming they'll meet next month.
It's November 5th, is it November 5th?
Ms. Church is familiar with the problem, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Think,
Mr. President, while we have the city solicitor's attention, I would like to read something, an email that everyone got, but I want to throw it out there. I'm personally named in it, so.
Okay.
This is dated October 16, 2025, dear council and city officials. I am writing to formally request a reasonable accommodation under Title II of the American with Disability Act and any related provisions under Ohio law related to the city's enforcement and complaint processes. I am a person with a disability, recently recovering from a life-threatening medical emergency, and I live with and care for a spouse who is fighting an aggressive cancer. Due to our combined health conditions, it is not feasible for me to attend public meetings. I have submitted detailed written, photographic, audio, and video documentation regarding ongoing violations at 306 Pennsylvania Avenue. However, I have been led to believe by Councilman Guerrero that in-person participation is likely necessary for me to be heard. This creates a barrier to accessing the process. I am requesting the reasonable accommodation that the city accept my written documentation in place of in-person participation and provide a written response to the concerns I have raised. This includes whether any enforcement has taken place or will take place, and on what legal basis the city has declined to act if that is the case. This request, made in good faith and in consistence with the city's obligation under Title II of the ADA to modify procedures when necessary to ensure equal access for individuals with disabilities. I am also requesting that this be acknowledged and answered in writing within 7 business days. I have chosen to withhold my name due to well-founded concerns for my safety and privacy. Concerns with the city's continued lack of response only reinforces. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, a concerned Ashtabula resident. Now, before I ask you what your opinion is on this, I have talked to a woman about this issue. I have no idea who she is. I have no idea where she lives. She refuses to tell me her name. She refuses to tell me where she lives. Now, that's fine. That's her choice. But I explained to her, you could be calling me from Afghanistan. You know, unless, if you truly are a neighbor in distress, why aren't you identifying yourself? And those reasons that she gave, and some others. I personally went over there on more than one occasion. The car is in the yard. Yes, it is. But I have seen no noise activity that she's complaining about. I've been there 3 times. I've also talked to another neighbor who I had a long conversation with, and all she said was pave my alley, or plow my alley when it snows. She gave me no indication that there was any trouble over there at all. Now, this lady wants a response. I have no way to respond to her. She won't give me your phone number. She won't give me your name. I am not sending an email to some email address that I have no idea where it's going, or, so I want to help this lady. She seemed like a very nice person on the phone. However, she's not giving me any help whatsoever on how to handle this without being able to talk to her, call her back, call me when they're making noise. She says she presented all this evidence. I surely didn't get it. I don't know if it went to the city manager's office, or I'm not sure. I guess I just don't know what to do.
Okay, so if I could, Mr. President, I've also spoken to her. I spoke to her back in June. She was sent to me through the city manager's office. She's spoken to Mary Church at the planning office. She's made these complaints repeatedly. Steve Nelson has been to the property. His observations were similar to yours. He did cite the person for one vehicle that was in the yard, told them to move it. But other than that, he didn't observe any violations. I can't prosecute violations. I can't file anything in court unless I have witnesses. And that's the problem with this person not being willing to come forward and give me their name or give me a callback number. I can't do anything unless I have witnesses. And there's no reasonable accommodation that can be made under the Americans with Disability Act to avoid somebody having to come in court and testify if I file a complaint. There's just none. So we've been through by the property. We know who owns it. We know what her concern is. Her concern is they're running, his or her concern is they're running a business on this property. They're not. They've been told, reminded, they can't run a business there. They can repair their own cars, which is what they're doing, but they can't repair other people's cars for money, which we have no evidence that they're doing. So, but that's the complainant's concern. They've reported it to the EPA. The EPA has gone and checked. They've sent it to the city health department, who's been there. They haven't cited any violations. They saw no sign of sewage or bucket disposal or anything that would violate the health codes. There's no huge amount of anything really. He was told to move the vehicle. He was told to clean up the junk tires, but that's it. So we have done everything we can to cite this person for any potential code violations, but they just aren't there.
I just, thank you for that opinion. I just wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page.
Yes, sir.
Because, once again, she won't tell me her name, she won't tell me where she lives. I've been over there 2-3 times, I didn't see anything. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being negligent, but apparently I'm not. If all those other entities were there and observed the same thing I did, that's good enough for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. Thank you, Ms. Cooper.
Mr. President, can I
Yes.
ask Madam Solicitor, for the 12 vacant properties, is the process for the supplies and boarding up, is that contracted out, or who, how does that work?
No.
My staff usually does that.
Okay.
Yeah, they take a law enforcement officer who's available with them when the law enforcement officer is available, may take 1 or 2 depending on the circumstances. And they go through and check the place, and then they do a standby while it's boarded up.
Okay, thank you.
You know, when you think about it, I mean, you mentioned 12 properties that we're going to board up. I think you said 24 last week or whenever, are going through the court thing. 60 are tethered or are on watch. You know, we're talking 100 properties in the city that the city is having to deal with because people are not helping us out here, you know.
Mr. President, that's a very small number of what we deal with
Oh,
daily.
yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. I know, yeah, I know it's a lot more, but you think there was 100 right there, you know.
And we filed 6 or 7 more this week.
Oh, gee. So, thank you. Okay. Mr. Khan, do you have,
Mr.
yes.
President, yeah, with all that being said, I oftentimes push back when people say we have a lack of housing. I don't know that we have a lack of housing. I think we have a lack of quality or habitable housing. So to me, the question becomes, what is it we do with the existing properties that we have so that we can make them or support something to make them livable, the ones we do have?
I think to a certain extent, it comes down to the owners. You know, like the 60 properties we're talking about that we're gonna take to planning and community development. The owners just haven't kept them in good repair. So, and others of these properties have owners that don't live in town or that don't live in these properties, obviously the vacant ones, but they won't sell them. Or they won't turn them over to the land bank. All they have to do is call the president of the land bank or call the administrator and make arrangements, and they can transfer the property to the land bank. As long as they don't owe $100,000 in a mortgage or something, you know, and the land bank will rehab it and sell it. There's just no excuse for, and the city has access, not access, but they have information about grants that you can obtain to put a new roof on your house, or to put siding on the house, or to put new windows on, that they administer every year. Amy Corson does it, right? And So we have financial resources, you just have to ask.
Thank you. My guess is that there are a number of people who don't know that it's available and don't know to ask. Could be wrong.
Okay, Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have an ordinance to make supplemental increases to appropriations in the general fund, public works fund, wastewater treatment fund, street lighting fund, and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio, for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, in the amount of $65,700.
I will move on the finance directors,
Second.
second by Mrs. DeGiacomo. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
I do have a question. Mr. Khan, is the breakdown for that on page 32 of 38, perhaps? I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing.
Yes, the breakdown is right after the,
Yeah, I'm on the right page, though.
yes.
Yeah, and just, so my question is, what is included in the professional services that are indicated here?
For which fund? 205?
The very top one, if we're
Uh,
looking at the same one, the $18,500 request for additional funding.
That's for tree cutting services,
What is that?
tree cutting services.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we will add that to our agenda by a 6-0 vote. And then also, Mr. Khan, we're doing headway with our budget, making headway, so that, we'll have that meeting in December or
Oh.
November?
Yeah, we're hoping to provide you with the draft of the budget, I think November 1st, somewhere around that time. So
November
within the next-
1st? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we typically have it about a month before that. Then the first meeting of December is usually when you present it and have the public hearing, and then you pass it at the second meeting of December.
Okay,
So, yeah,
very good.
that's,
Mr.
hopefully we'll
President?
be on target for that.
Okay, very good.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I do have another question. So, Mr. Khan, a couple of weeks ago, and this is no surprise for folks who know that I've been asking about, recycling for wards who don't currently have recycling. And I asked, in preparing the budget, are there places where some funds could be allocated in the event that the grant that Mr. Timonere and some of your staff have been working towards, in the event that grant is not awarded, is there some other Plan B or some other recourse where we can consider funding the recycling bins in the at the very least? I'm not sure what the other wards feel about it, but I certainly have been pushing for those in Ward 3.
I appreciate you pushing.
So there is a possibility to fund the recycle bins out of the sanitation fund, but the sanitation fund unfortunately has not been performing very well. So it's contingent on the possible fee increases.
On the possible
Fee increases?
fee increases?
Yes.
So then if by chance the grant is not awarded and the fee increases or haven't been determined by some other date or time or conditions, what is a more feasible way that monies could be allocated for the recycling bins that the other wards have had for over 7 years?
We'll just have to wait out and see how the sanitation fund is going to be resolved.
Mr. President, so you have to remember that the sanitation fund, like the water pollution control fund, is a enterprise fund. So we can't put monies into it without having the resources to pay them back. Okay, so for instance, in water pollution, we bought the sewer jet. The general fund, instead of getting a loan at an interest rate, funded the sewer jet. Water Pollution Control Fund has the resources to pay that back over the 3 years, 5 years, I can't remember which one we did. Okay. Right now in the draft that's currently being circulated between myself and the finance director, we're showing a negative $300,000 balance in sanitation by the end of 2026. Now, we haven't spent much time honing into the details of that particular 225 line item, but that's next on our agenda to tackle that one. In addition, as you mentioned, and I've stated several times, the application has been started with the Ohio EPA. We need roughly $300,000 to do everything. We can apply for $200,000. So we still, even if we get that, need to find $100,000 that we're going to kick in of our own money to do that for the rest of the wards. So even if recycling's off the table, the grant's off the table, everything's off the table, there's still going to be a deficit to make up within the sanitation fund for 2026.
Thank you for the explanation, and since this is the time for budget, this is the reason why I previously asked what other contingencies can be made to move forward with the recycling bins in those wards that haven't not had them for a number of years. The question remains, even if we don't have
And
an
the
answer
answer's
for it.
the same. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Ms. Milberg, do you have anything for us tonight?
I do, thank you. The September 15th regular meeting minutes were approved as presented at the October 6th regular council meeting. After the minutes were approved, Ward 3 Councilor Holman asked that the minutes be amended to include the city solicitor's response as to why the ad hoc committee could not continue as it had been. To amend the September 15th regular meeting minutes for the purpose of satisfying Ms. Holman's request, council must move and second the request.
Right. Is there a motion to amend the September 15th minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
This is DeGiacomo moves, Ms. Holman seconds. Any other discussion?
I just, out of curiosity, I obviously have no recollection of any of that conversation on the top of my head. You're going off the recorder to amend those minutes, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how you did the amendment. You watched the movie over again, or?
It's recorded. All the meetings are recorded.
I just wanted to check.
And I will add that even if that weren't the case, we could simply ask Madam Solicitor herself, and she could vouch that she made the statement. I simply asked for them to be included because they weren't.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of amending the September 15 minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? They'll be amended by a 6-0 vote. Anything else?
I have one other thing. There's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony on Wednesday at noon at Guy Reno's Deli Express and Market on Lake Avenue.
That's the 22nd
Yes,
at noon.
yes.
Okay. And you'll have that, Pete? Oh, I should be able to be, okay. Thank you, Ms. Milberg. We come time to our committee reports, community development.
So our next meeting is November 5th, and I do have a guest, but we will also be discussing the 60 properties. Vacant, or what to do with the 60 properties. And the guest is Carrie Warner.
Finance and personnel. Ms. Foglio is absent today. I think our last meeting was canceled. And so I think the next meeting is the third Friday, right?
November
So the 21st at 8:30.
Is that no, that's not the day after Thanksgiving.
Public Works,
Our meeting is next Tuesday, the 28th, here at 8:30 a.m.
okay. Safety Forces, we have a report.
Yes, Mr. President, I'll be brief. The first thing that came up at the Safety Forces meeting was a more in-depth account of the water rescue that the fire department had. And I think I probably speak for the president, Mr. President, and myself. We were absolutely in disbelief of what, I mean, it was truly a Padre Pio style miracle. I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. Up and above that, our numbers are relatively the same. The 3 Durango vehicles that we purchased are being outfitted for the police department. Now, 2 of those vehicles are going to be K-9 units, so they have that extra cage that has to be installed. The fire department is getting a Ford, which should be up and running. Is it up and running by now? Okay, so they have that going. There's gonna be a promotional test for the fire department, and that will be in January of next year. Chief Gruber and the new fire marshal, we do have like a small homeless style encampment thing underneath the Spring Street Bridge, and they're thinking maybe a protective fence might stop people from, there's some fire hazards down there apparently that they would like to see addressed. And then under new business, we discussed the no parking signs on the east side of Washington Avenue where the fire hydrants are located, and the city manager and the police department are gonna look into that, along with the slow children at play sign at West 58th Street from West Avenue to Nathan Avenue. And that was about all we covered. It was kind of a short meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, may I say something?
Yes.
I just want to thank you, Terry, for taking care of those 2 items.
You're welcome.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I have a question for Mr. Guerrero. We had talked about a resident who was asking about bicycling and going in the wrong direction, and you had mentioned you were going to add it to the agenda.
You know, and Chief Gruber was, I'm sorry, Chief Stell was not there at the meeting, so.
We would add it to the agenda for your next meeting.
For the next one, but he was preoccupied with police business, and I don't think Madam Solicitor was there either.
Yeah, I can't make Thursday morning meetings because I have court. So I had pre-trials.
So there was really nobody of authority to throw that one out.
All right.
But
And
we will-
I'll forward
we'll-
you the email if you would add it to the agenda.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. Planning Commission did not meet this month. The Historic Preservation Committee met. They just had 2 items on their agenda. One was sent back for further clarification, and the only thing they did approve was a new hanging sign for the tattoo studio on Bridge Street.
Mr. President, the Honors Committee did meet, and
Okay.
we talked about the sign for honoring Mr. Morrison from Molded Fiberglass Company. And the committee did vote to proceed with the project. I think that the ladies that are pushed, this Mrs. Kane, I think they're gonna come here on November 3rd to talk about this, and I wanted everybody to know. And they do, I wanna submit, I'm not exactly sure who gets this, but, or if I should keep it. I got it here somewhere. Or did I give it to you?
No, you didn't give it to me. No. Jim, you have it? No.
It was kind of a mock
Yeah.
drawing of what they would like in the same manner as the signs we already have. And I think, talking with the city manager, he's thinking we might have to incorporate some kind of new design for all that stuff. But if council wants to go along with the project, if we'd like to vote on it on November 3rd, back to committee to hammer out the details and go, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, bring it to the committee. And I think Mr. Timonier, like I said, because we have the Urban Meyer sign, we have the Connie Schultz sign. If we have another sign, we're gonna be pretty down close to the ground. So, there maybe in that time, it'll, certainly we wanna honor those, who, the council wants to honor. We wanna do it in a decorative fashion or in a appropriate fashion, I guess. All right, thank you, Mr. Guerrero. All right, we have 3 items of legislation tonight. If anyone in the audience would like to comment on the contract with Xylem for replacement parts for the water treatment plant, Rocky Road pave and street cutting, or the ordinance that Mr. Khan mentioned for various funds. Would anybody like to comment on any of those?
Mr. President, I do have a comment on the Xylem one. In the agreement that's attached, there is language concerning tariffs. The solicitor's office and Mark, our superintendent at Water Pollution, Mr. Vizella, are both working through that with Xylem. So if the number shouldn't change, but we want the language within the contract to change so that it's not tariff dependent. So we're asking for the number, the expenditure amount for that.
Okay, thank you for pointing that out. That may be an issue as we go along, you know.
It has been, yes.
Yeah. And like you say about, any money we get from the state or the federal government, we should spend it like the minute it comes in, spend it, so. All right, thank you, Mr. Timonier. Is it council's, okay, no one would like to comment on these items? Ms. Milberg, would you read us our 3 pieces of legislation?
Ordinance number 2025-181, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Xylem for the purpose of providing replacement parts for the UV disinfection system for the wastewater treatment plant. Ordinance number 2025-182, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Rocky Road Paving for Round 8 various street cut road restorations. Ordinance number 2025-183, an ordinance to make supplemental increases to appropriations in the general fund, SCMR Public Works, WPC Wastewater Treatment, Street Lighting Funds, and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Is it council's, excuse me, is it council's desire to handle these in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 6-0 vote. May I entertain a motion to waive the reading of these legislation in its entirety?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, Mrs. DeGiacomo seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the entire reading of the legislation by a 6-0 vote. Is there a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, Ms. DeGiacomo seconds. Any discussion? Ms. Milberg, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
We will waive 2 readings by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on the adoption of the legislation. Will you please call the roll?
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
These 3 items of legislation have passed by a 6-0 vote. Thank you. Is that it for legislation? Okay, very good. Is there any unfinished business tonight?
Yes. I just want to ask a question about the wastewater treatment, the generator. Where are we at with that?
Mr. President, Mr. Giacomo, Friday, everything was put back together. The parts were installed for the fuel pump. Generator was up and running on Friday. The electricians came and disconnected the trailer rental, removed it. We fired up the existing one, ran the plant off of it for a while. So right now we're in good shape.
Yay.
Hey, so the $1,000 a day rental is on its way back.
Yay. That's good news.
Anybody else?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I reluctantly and nervously say it, but the street sweeper is back as well. And we have been running that gingerly, but running it, make sure all the bugs are out of it.
Just in time for snow.
Well, we've got a lot of work to do between now and that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right, any other counselors have any unfinished items? All right, any new business?
I just have one quick thing, because we always hear the negative, and the last couple weeks I've had a couple people make some comments to me that were on the positive side. One of the ones that was brought up was we were commended as a city for the way we were working to beef up APD, and some of the changes that we're making to make those positions more attractive to people. The person I talked to said they couldn't say enough good things about what, and a lot of that goes to you, but what we've been doing as a city to kind of beef up APD again. And then I also had somebody who made a point to thank us for addressing the issue where the food truck and all those sheds were across from over on Lake Avenue. Yeah, they were very appreciative, very thankful, and they said it happened so quickly that, they're like, all of a sudden one day things started moving, and they said it definitely improved that area. So.
Thank you.
Mr. President, one item I forgot to mention on my report or under unfinished business, today we received the emergency funds from the snow event, and it was for $104,000 roughly in there. So there's a portion of that will be allocated back to the general fund because they were expenses incurred by the fire department, and then the rest of it was taken out of the public works budget last year to pay the contractors and of course all the staff time we had from public works. So that reflects 75% of what the allowable expenses that we put there were, but our true expenses were much more than that. So, but we'll take it.
I guess we'll be happy for that, huh? Okay. All right, thank you. We did new business. Thank you, Mr. Simeoni. Does anyone have anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mrs. Mills.
There is a Signature Health Trunk or Treat this Friday, the 24th. It's free with candy, games and prizes, and the candy is given out by their staff. It's 5:30 to 7:30, so I know that intersection, that area gets really busy, and it's a Friday evening, so be careful when you're driving around. Lots of kids running around. And then when our trick or treat is that evening, that's a time change. So, like in 2 weekends, we have a time change, so it's gonna be getting darker. Still lots of bikes out on the road, so when you're driving, lots of people walking. I usually drive in the other lane anyways, just because of that fact, but it's gonna get dark about 5 o'clock. And tomorrow, Ashtabula Area City Schools are having a town hall meeting tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 o'clock. It's at the high school building, which is the former Huron that was the preschool. So the town hall is for information on issue 34. So it's understanding the facts of the roof collapse, insight, the why of the bond issue, and it's a back and forth discussion. So that's tomorrow evening. And also the ADDA Christmas parade is coming Friday. That's already November 21st with the All-American Christmas theme. So there we go. We're done for the year. How about that?
Thank you, Mrs. Mills.
Mr. President?
And you usually around January, or no, around June, you'll be ducking back to school, so you're always ahead of the game, and we appreciate
Well, that's, I think being in Public Works, like between either plowing or leaves or whatever, so it's that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how my brain goes.
Good, thank you.
President?
Yes,
A couple of things. We all know that November is the time that we set aside to celebrate our veterans and the contributions they make to keep our country safe. On Sunday, November 16th, the Hiawatha Church of God in Christ will have a program at 10 o'clock a.m. honoring the veterans. There will be a program and a luncheon free to the public, of course, and all veterans, and care packages for the first 75 veterans who attend. That address is 3417 Hiawatha Avenue in Ashtabula, Ohio. Pastor Steve Sargent, and again, we welcome all veterans to attend so we can celebrate your contributions. And the second thing is our ARMC is hosting 2025 Healthcare Quality Week this week. So each day from 12 to 1 o'clock, they're having a lunch and learn, and there's free lunch for the public. There's a topic that's designated, and people are welcome to come out. They're really wanting to engage in the public in a different way so that people feel comfortable coming to the hospital for more than simply medical services. So this is one of the programs that they've been sponsoring, and welcome anyone who's willing to participate from noon to 1 each day this week.
And who is the speaker on October 22nd?
Yours truly. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll say that all of the programs will be in the Dr. Thomas and Louise Raffa Community Education Room A.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. And I would just want to add, Fat Sally's had their annual trunk or treat, and once again, another huge success. Tons of kids and families and so forth. And so I just want to give them a shout out. They do so many nice things in the community, and this trunk or treat thing is, I don't know how many years they've been having it. So I just want to give them a shout out to Fat Sally's. Okay, anyone else?
Mr. President?
Yes.
The Ashtabula Distance Runners Half Marathon and 5K is also this weekend, so be cognizant of that as you're driving around. The 5K is on Saturday, the half marathon is on Sunday, and does go quite a ways through the city and also into Ashtabula Township. So,
All right, we come to the time when we hear from the public. We thank you for bearing with us and for sticking with us this evening. If anyone would like to address council, please approach the podium and state your name and an identifying address, and we will be happy to hear from you.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Blake Hinkle, corner of 16th and Union in the Harbor. I wanted to first invite everyone here, including council and the city manager, solicitor, everybody. We're showing The Curse of Frankenstein from 1957 in Nappy Field on October 25th, this Saturday. Ultimate Appearance, a local salon, is going to be sponsoring the movie, as well as handing out candy to any kids in attendance. So that'll be really great. It's invited for everybody that wants to come. Last year we showed The Nightmare Before Christmas and had a good turnout. We're hoping for an equally good turnout. So, and it's a fun Monster Mash movie, nothing too serious. The other portion that I had for today, I had some questions for council and Madam Solicitor and Mr. Manager Timonier. I'm curious about a couple different things in relation to how we're helping protect people that may be easily victimized and or vulnerable. So my concern is more about, or is primarily today about renter protections and what we're doing to keep people that are renting in our city protected. So my first question would be, what are the mechanisms or methods the city has to hold inadequate landlords accountable? So like, is there mechanisms for the city to hold a landlord that may not be taking care of the property well accountable?
Mr. President, if I might?
Yes, please.
Yes, they call the planning department and building inspector goes out, and if they find a violation, the building inspector cites for the violation. I can't tell you how many times a certain apartment complex in this town has been on my desk in the past 2 months, and I swear one more time, and yeah, we're done. They're just, anyway, yes, and we do it regularly.
What ways does the city promote information to educate potential tenants their rights when they rent in the city?
Mr. President, Mr. Blake, so we have literature that we've passed out. We try to attend a lot of community events such as like the Home Show, the Asheville County Fair. I think one time we set up at Beach Glass or Wine and Walleye, I can't remember which, but, and then we also have information in the office if anybody calls. We've also set up meetings with legal aid where they've come and done seminars on like know your tenant rights. So we've historically held different things every year.
Is there a way code enforcement can help raise a tenant's living conditions if a landlord fails to facilitate fixes or basic maintenance of a property?
Yes, that goes into the code enforcement of the property. So if we're called and we go out and inspect and there's violations, the landlords are typically given a certain amount of time to make those repairs. If they don't make those repairs, their rental permit can be revoked and/or it's referred to the solicitor's office for further charges.
Does the city solicitor play any part in helping set up an escrow account for renters frustrated, wanting basic quality of life maintenance for their rented spaces?
No,
No?
that is entirely through the municipal court.
Okay. And for someone that wanted to find out more information about that, they would seek out the municipal court?
They would contact the clerk's office, the municipal court clerk's office, in their civil division.
Okay.
It's actually probably best, that's where all that would be handled, but a call to us, just so we know, at Planning and Community Development, 992-7118, a call to us so that we can talk through what's going on at the property, and we can give out that information of who to contact at the court if they want to establish a escrow program.
Thank you. Final question. Does Ashtabula have any particular law in relation to when a landlord changes someone's rent in the procedure and/or timeline that requires? No. Do you, Madam Solicitor, know of what standard practice in Ohio is?
It really depends on the contract, but honestly, that's a civil matter that I could not give people legal advice on.
I understand.
So, but rentals are usually contracts, so it would depend on the contract.
If so, okay, fair enough. Thank you all for your time. I just wanted to bring some light to those questions. I've had city residents reach out to me with different concerns in relations to renting some property, and I just wanted them, if they're watching, to have that information available to them. So thank you, and I hope we can continue to think creatively and outside the box to help people find equitable places to live that have pride in the place as well. Thank you.
But Blake, before you sit down, what time does the movie start?
Oh, the movie's, I'm gonna check. I know that's horrible, but I wanna make sure I say the right thing. I'll let somebody else come up, but I'll shout that out at the end. I believe it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
In fact, I know it's 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Mr. President, just to go along with that, with tenants, I think the biggest piece of advice that we can give, and we see this all the time, is that tenants, before they actually lease a property, go and visit the property. You would be amazed how many people just send deposits to wherever and never see the property until they actually go to move in, and then that's when they're met with some real big concerns. So there unfortunately are some scrupulous people out there that just post these properties and pick up these properties at sheriff auction or whatever and never do anything with them, and then try to put tenants in them, and those tenants lose deposits and first and last month's rent and a whole bunch of stuff that goes on, and unfortunately it's a civil issue at that point. But the demand for housing that is here causes a lot of people to jump at the first opportunity without doing that research. But please visit the property or call us and say, hey, do you have any history on a property? And as most of you know, when you send us complaints about properties, we've already been there, done that. So.
Anyone else who would like to address council?
I would.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sue Lally-Villa. We live at 2421 Walnut Boulevard. And Mr. Timoneers addressed you before about our sinkhole condition between us and Powell's property. Janice is here with us as well. So we're currently looking at a sinkhole in the last 2 years that's gone from 2 feet by 2 feet to basically 16 by 18 feet. And it's now encroaching on our garage and her foundation of her home. We're told that it probably won't be able to be done this year because of timelines. All the paperwork was in at the end of September, so I guess my question is, why hasn't it gone on for bid yet? And is there any way, when it does go out for bid, it said, you know, the time frame that I understand is it goes out for bid for 3 weeks. Once bid is, it takes a couple weeks then for the bid to be, you choose who the bid will get, will get the bid, there we go. And then it will be a few more weeks before, or even could be a month, depending, I would guess, on where it would fall, then council will have to approve it before we can move forward with awarding the contract. So I guess my first question is, why has it been a month, and is it up for bid yet? Has it been posted for bid?
Mr. President, no, it hasn't been out for bid yet. So on
Okay.
the 23rd, I think at the end of the day, we received all of the things in, all of the access
September.
agreements of September, yes. And at that time, even if we had done that, we would still have been looking at the beginning of December to mid-December
I understand that, but why wasn't it put up for bid before now? It's October 20th.
because of that same situation, because we are concerned about what's going to happen in those backyards over the winter if construction starts and it has to be paused because of weather. If they open the ground and it starts snowing and we lose the season, that equipment plus the ground stays like that until the springtime.
Yeah, and the contractors I've spoken with say it can be done until the ground is frozen.
That's true, yes, but with the amount of earthwork that has to be done back there, how muddy it's going to get, the disaster it's going to become in your yard if we have a bad winter, anything can be done at any time. It's just the amount of damage that it causes getting it done.
Well, what
And
our
these are
cons-
not my observation, these are coming from our engineer that's
Right,
putting the,
and the engineer's not gonna be doing the work. The contractor's gonna be doing the work. And then I guess our concern is if we wait until spring, I mean, if we can at least try to get it done. If not, I mean, who's gonna help repair our garage and her house? I mean, this is encroaching on our foundations now. And it, as the email, I'm sure you all, I hope you all read the letter I sent. I mean, we're looking at a long time. It was 6 months before the city, you know, said, okay, yeah, we're gonna do something. And that was, and the phone calls, I should have recorded all the phone calls I made, just say, where are we? What are we doing? And for those of you aren't aware, it's a city storm manhole that has collapsed west of the manhole. And you did the scoping and scoped it to find that it is attached to the old city storm drain at the road. So we offered to fix it. We said, we'll fill it with cement. We'll stop our problem with the sinkhole, and we're told we're not to do that because then it's gonna shoot the problem east of us. So we're here to say, you know, why can't this move quicker? You know, can we, you know, put it out there and let the contractors decide if they wanna do it or not?
I'd like to say something because it's my understanding that Tom Simon hired Nelson Sand and Gravel to put those pipes in 17 feet, okay, down.
I'm going to stop you right there before you say more. If that's the case, then this means that I should not be involved at all, and that's a private issue. Because right there, that is now new information that this is not, and I'm just going to go further on this. The reason that it took so long for us to get there in the first place, as I've explained, there is no documentation that these pipes exist as far as city infrastructure. There's no easements in your backyard that say that the city has a maintenance agreement to be able to maintain a line that's back there. Whenever we have lines that run through private property, there's usually an easement that says, it's called a utility easement, that says that the city owns a piece of infrastructure underneath or on your property, and that at any time we can get in there and do maintenance on those things. What we believe is, until now you've said that, we had believed, well, and that's what I believe too. That's why I'm stopping the conversation there. So what we believe is that is a old, from before that part of the city that was annexed into the city, was Saybrook, that could have been a private sewer lateral system that actually dumped into the lake, which was completely permitted at that time to do, as far as that old legacy goes. We have stepped in and said, okay, we're going to help out, we're going to take it, because we did find the connection out in the road, and that's where we are today with the project.
So will it be put up for bid?
I can put it out for bid, but as with, I'm sure the contractors that will come on board and our engineer, there are very, very big concerns with doing that project in the wintertime.
And my concern is it's been a month since you've had all the paperwork, you know, so.
Right, and it was several months before that, and we've had to re-engineer the project because there was a particular property owner that we did not hear from at all. So we had to move, let me tell you the timeline that we've had to encounter. Okay, so we had to redraw the whole project because we had to move it further to the west. And then there was some concerns that you had on your property, which then made us include the property to the west of you, which then was another redraw of those prints, and then talking with that property owner to get that access agreement. So that access agreement, I think, has been flowing around since June.
Actually, I sent back, we received the first draft of the plans, the access agreements on July 25th.
Okay, July.
I responded on July 26th with questions for clarifications and amendments. It wasn't until August 12th I got the questions answered. So we're looking at 3 weeks there, and it wasn't until September 12th that we received the access agreement.
Correct, so,
it was
all right,
a month,
right,
you know,
yeah.
that we just waited.
Well, no, in the background, as I said, there were a lot of discussions going on with the engineer of how to move to accommodate a lot of those requests that were going on.
I find that interesting because on the draft that I originally got and the final plans, all of the work was done on Powell's property and the Hammers weren't involved at all. So the people you're saying you didn't get permission from, number one.
I don't think you received the very, very first ones that we had where we needed to have access on that property.
I said this is the first draft I received on July 21st and was told it was the first draft.
I don't believe so, but.
I guess I just want to make sure everyone's clear that no one from the city attempted to contact Hammers. I got the number for you, I got her email for you, and she was sent an email, and it was Renee that spoke with her when she said, I'm not gonna sign anything, but when I talked to Kelly Jones, she said, well, do you want to try to talk to her? And it's like, well, isn't that the city's job to talk to her?
I believe that we did make contact with her.
I'm sorry that this is taking so long,
And so am I. Trust me, we want to get this done and we want to get this out of the way. I have some big concerns of what the winter would look like with equipment in your backyard.
And also, we've talked to the insurance company, and since it has been an ongoing issue, if there is damage to the property, they said they will be trying to get rid, you know.
Well, if they can prove we own it, that's great. And we know that there has been work done to the line, not by us.
Yes, to fix the sinkhole. They're trying to
Okay.
fix the sinkhole.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mrs. Rowland.
I have a quick question in relation to this. So if
Will you approach the podium and state your name and address, please?
My name is Renee Powell. I am Janice's daughter. I have concerns just as far as, okay, the hole has grown significantly just over the summer. So, and it is like very close to her deck and her basement foundation. These aren't, you know, $30,000 homes. These are $500,000 homes that we're talking about. These are the people that pay the most taxes in the whole city. They live right on the lake is their backyard. They're paying more taxes than probably anybody in the city. So to just dismiss it like, okay, well, we'll try, or, well, I mean, that's the way it kind of comes across, okay? Maybe that's not your intentions, but that's the way it kind of comes across, because this has been an ongoing issue, and I guess my concern is for my mother and her safety in her home. And, okay, you're talking, our winters go how many months? Summer has only been, what, 4 months? And it's grown significantly. And we haven't even had a really wet summer. So now that we're going into a much more wet time of year and that kind of thing, and like, is there any kind of temporary solution? Like, if you don't wanna put out a bid to do the complete construction of this, this storm drain that
city annexed in this part from Saybrook Township, so at some point, they assume responsibility when they annexed in and they have to pay city taxes. You know, they're part of the city, so the pipes and the drains and everything that comes along with their property, they're paying for it and city taxes. So I mean, I'm no engineer by far, but I know that there has to be some sort of remedy or some sort of something to save their property, my mom's property. I don't wanna see my mom, who's spent her whole life paying for this, or not her whole life, but a good majority of her life, and now she's retired, and her home is finally paid off almost, and now she could lose, like, it, or if she doesn't lose it in this hole, I mean, how's she gonna ever sell it?
I just wanted to say something too, maybe,
I mean, it's,
I wasn't home when this happened, okay?
they don't wanna know.
Well, I'm just gonna say, heads up to you guys, because there was an incident at Circle K, and the guy got in the car and took off, somehow parked his car close to my home, okay? Because like I said, I wasn't there. He ran between Guido's house and my house, okay, trying to get away from the police. Thank God for canines, okay? Because he was headed straight for that sinkhole. Now, how deep that thing is, I would say it's probably 12 feet at least deep. I put a picnic table up there, and the next morning it was gone, all right? I couldn't see any sign of it. And that was a while back. But the canine officer, whoever that was, hats off to him, because that dog went and grabbed that guy by the leg, okay, tore his leg up, I guess. I missed it all, but he didn't make it to the sinkhole. And I'm like, where's my responsibility if he made it to the sinkhole? I mean, that's my concern too, but can I put up a fence around it?
I actually have, I believe it's tomorrow, our engineer is coming into town. We'll discuss this with him and see what the options are
I mean,
going
I'd like
from
to,
here.
do something quick, like when I showed you the
Yep.
man, and when that runs down from underneath Patty Hammer's house, I mean, the whole back section is under that. It will go down, it's about 17 feet in the ground, and it'll shoot up 4 feet up out of the ground. I mean, it looks like a spring, like something like this. And then the whole backyard floods right around the back of my house. And I don't have any control over that water. I had some comments that I had some advice, you know, drop
But those
5
are-
bags of concrete down there, and that'll back it up.
That, well, and it's backing up because it's crushed somewhere to the west. And that's what we're going to fix. Yes. We believe it's crushed going to the west.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to the police department for not putting me at risk.
Anyone else would like to address council? Okay. She was in line.
Okay, I just want to make sure she was in line.
Yeah, she was in line and then, yeah.
Hi, Alex Clark. I'm Columbus Avenue, but I'm actually here to ask some questions on behalf of the behavioral health agency that I work for. We're a new behavioral health program, Collins.
Could you speak into the mic, please? We can hear. Thank you.
Absolutely, sorry. How far back do you want me to go? All the way?
A minute.
My name is Alex Clark. I am Columbus Avenue, but I'm actually here to ask some questions on behalf of the behavioral health agency I work at, a new behavioral health. They're looking to do some considerable expansion in the city and around the county. One of the things that they're looking at is doing sober houses. So I kind of just want any information, like good contacts for me to reach out to.
Yeah.
Mr. President, you'd come to the Planning Community Development Department. Unfortunately, right now, not just sober living, but any type of boarding house we have a moratorium on in the city. So until the master plan is done and until the zoning updates are completed, those won't be permitted right now. Yes.
Use manager this time. I originally came up here, I didn't have no questions, but as people got up and started asking questions, I had a couple questions I need to ask. First of all, for this, tenants and the landlords, I live in an area that you might not consider $140,000 house. But my house is my house, and I spent years paying for that house. And when you have a landlord owning this property, they have 5 or 6 apartments in this facility, and when the people move, they just put their couches and things on the lawn. I usually give them 2 weeks, and I'll come up and ask the person up there, how long do we wait, or if these guys are repeating, not taking care of these couches and things in his property, what do you guys do? I'm sure he doesn't wait to get his rent. Is there anything you can establish with these owners or whatever, that when their tenants leave out, that property should be clear?
Yeah.
If they know they're gonna be moving December 21st, which I doubt it,
Yeah.
but get the people over there to move the garbage off the lawn.
We agree.
Mr. President, oh yes, we wholeheartedly agree, and please don't wait 2 weeks to call us. The moment you see somebody putting it on the tree lawn, if it's not garbage day, call our offices. So typically it's the tenant that's doing that and not the landlord typically, but we have had situations where the landlord cleans out a house and just leaves it on the tree lawn. In any event, whether it's a tenant move out, whether it's you that needs some bulk items picked up, you can call the sanitation department and we will make special pickups. It is in addition to the fee you already pay for garbage, but it's a special pickup. We'll send staff out there to clean up if you have bulk items to get rid of. We prefer you schedule that with us before they put the items on the tree lawn, so that if we're not able to come for the next 2 or 3 days or possibly into next week, that stuff isn't sitting on a tree lawn that long. But we will make arrangements to come do special pickups, absolutely.
Well, the reason I'm up here is basically the same person that owns that property. I'll give it to you, Cleveland Avenue. He owns that building, has like 2 or 3 properties.
The brick one? Is it brick?
Right,
Yeah. Mhm.
Last couple of weeks, I guess the tenants have moved, and he's put, everywhere it is, they put that couch on the corner. I've been living in my house for 30 years, I don't wanna go anywhere else. I'm proud of my area, I'm proud of where I live. So therefore, if the owner of the house, whoever he is, I know who he is, but I'm not gonna put his name out there, when he comes to collect the rent, make some established rules and regulations. Call before you get this property stuff on the sidewalk, because there's property owners that have a concern about their neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yep.
Second thing I want to say, I wasn't concerned, well, I wasn't going to go up and talk about this. I wasn't going to talk about this, these garbage things, but I want to find out. I brought a note this time, so I can understand everything you guys said, so that you guys would get, I can remind you what you said. The garbage, the recycle, how did you guys do that originally? Put the, in the wards, did you go 1, 2, 3, and then you stop, or you go 5, 4, and then you stop? Because I'm third, and I hope I would have gotten one of those things where you put the garbage disposable.
Yeah.
So how do you do it, how you gonna do it if you ever get money in the next 10 years?
So when it was originally done, we tried to divide it into half of the area. And if I'm not mistaken, we used the Lake Avenue corridor kind of as the West 19th Lake Avenue corridor as that kind of dividing line. And we did everything north of that first. And it was at that time, we started that because the Ashtabula County Solid Waste District, in order for them to meet the criteria on recycling, which is mandated by the state, the city of Ashtabula had to participate in curbside recycling. Now, nobody could make the city participate in curbside recycling, but in order for the county to meet their goals, we had to participate. So we started this so that the county could meet its goal. So we did half of it as like the proof of concept. Didn't anticipate it taking this long to do the other half, and that I do apologize for. But we want to get when it comes out, it will be the remainder of the city. We need about 2,800 recycling bins and 2,800 garbage bins. we feel that the staff feels that they can adjust the route so that we're picking up garbage between Monday and Thursday. And then on Friday, the area that has recycling now would be picked up on one Friday, and the area that's going to get recycling would be picked up on another Friday. So your recycling would still be every other week. But that is the plan. That's what we're submitting in the application to the EPA to hopefully get funded for it. And then we'll figure out how to get the other $100,000 of the money to institute the program.
Thank you. I will be up here every Monday. I want facts for myself. No reflection on my council, but I'm the type of individual, I will speak for myself. I'm not shy, and I want to say it in front of the whole group, so if one says one thing and another person says another thing, when I come back,
You got the information. Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else who would like to address council? Well, we thank you for being with us this evening. Our next meeting will be November 3rd at 6:30. So everybody have a happy Halloween and be safe.